Hello and welcome to part 2 of my Moho station series. I have devised a fuel delivery system today so I can send up tanks of fuel to the station. And yeah, I've made some tweaks. I basically just loaded up the station core file and just made some tweaks to the design. Because last time I did have this center tank almost completely full by the time I got there, so I just figured pull the station off the top, stick a docking port on this tank and some RCS, and that can just dock to the station and refuel any vehicles that want to dock. And a couple of other tweaks. I've replaced the Poodle engines on this stage with the Nerva atomic rocket ones, because I used the Poodles last time for the greater thrust, because I knew that I would be only in Moho's influence for a short amount of time. But as you probably saw in my last video, I was going to be in Moho's influence for at least an hour. And even on atomic rocket engines, that's easily enough time to do a capture burn. And these atomic rockets actually weigh less and have more than double the efficiency. So this station is now a ton lighter, or this craft, sorry, is now a ton lighter than the last one. And that is simply from switching these engines out. These little RCS blobs and the RCS ports and this decoupler weigh as much as the station core that I sent out. Yeah, that was a very small station core. And yeah, I've got this decoupler to get rid of the engine off this center tank, just to make it more efficient when I'm docking. It's a bit less weight for those RCS thrusters to push around. So yeah, I'm going to try and launch 2 of these at the same time, just so I don't have to launch one and then fast forward a million years for the orbits to align again. So I'll get this on a launch pad, fast forward, get the orbits lined up, and yeah, I'll probably record the launches in 4 times acceleration, I think. Because, yeah, you don't want to see a whole bunch of launches and stuff like that, so yeah. The next part may be post-commentary. Yes, indeed, this is actually quite a short video now, having done all of this in post-commentary and speeding it up. But it actually took a good couple of hours to get these fuel tanks out there, so, that's nice for you. It took me a long time, though. So the first thing to do was to get them into orbit. I believe this is my first failed orbit. Yeah, things like to explode for no reason. There you go, you just saw a little flash there. I'm just looking through the log there trying to figure out what it was because it was dark, but yeah, just one of those nuclear engines fell off and flew into the rest of the stack for no reason. Like, I haven't changed anything on the craft here, and it's going up fine, that's just how things go. And so yeah, pretty standard launch. I did again, I tried to get MechJeb to launch them into orbit because I've probably launched like 3,000 craft into orbit already. I can do it. I should be able to let the robot do it, but yeah, it can't. It starts doing a gravity turn, and it does it so aggressively that almost every craft I build just tips right over and starts nose diving for some reason. Yeah. So just parking this one into orbit, about 80 kilometers I was aiming for, and I launched 2 at once because to make the most of a launch window you should do that. Or you can just launch one thing and then wait a couple of years or whatever for the planets to align again. But that's a waste of time and money, and I think for the upcoming career mode, which I'm very excited about, you don't want to be doing that. you gotta make the most of these planetary windows, because you never know, you might go bankrupt while you're waiting for your planets to align. So yeah, I begin the transfer here, and it takes forever. I think this is the first one that I'm sending off. Let me just full screen this preview. Oh, I can't while I'm recording. That's useful. But yeah, I think it says about 17 minutes there just to get down. And then, yeah, just lining up the second one here. I was getting a sort of roughly close approach, and then fine-tuning once I've left Kerbin's influence, because it just took so long on that single engine. I'm definitely going to revise the transfer stage for the next lot of things that I'm sending out, because it takes so long, and it's, you don't improve your efficiency by adding more engines, but there becomes a point of diminishing returns where, it's just taking too long to get out there. So yeah, here I am making a correction burn to get my orbits down to about 150 kilometers. That's about as close as I wanted to go without actually slamming into the planet, because yeah, it takes a lot of delta V to get slowed down when you actually reach Moho. So yeah, just tapping on that RCS. Yeah, if you're having trouble getting a really close approach, use that RCS. It's great for the little fine-tuning of approaches and orbits. So here, they both arrived at once. Yeah, that probably goes about as well as you'd expect. I should have staggered the approach here. Like, I wanted to get them both over there in the same window, but I should have staggered the approach. So I start burning and, getting slowed down so I can be captured. And yeah, it gets a little bit brown trousers time, because the other one starts catching up behind me, as I'm slowing this one down. Yeah, the other one is still going hell of a leather behind me, and so yeah, I actually waited too long, I think, here as well. It's just like, half an hour to periapse. I don't need to start burning yet. I can fast forward. Because, yeah, I was turning on these nuclear engines just to give it a little push to see how long the burn would take, and it just lied to me. It flat out lied to me. It took a lot longer than it said it was going to take. Probably because I had those solid rocket boosters on there as well. So yeah, you see here, I'm already slid past the periapse, and the other fuel delivery is at periapse. I'm still burning to try and get this one captured. And there it goes, just like, oh god, come back, come back. So yeah, I just sort of carry on burning, try and stay calm for a second, but then I just realized that I'm just going to lose that other one if I don't just shut down the engines and just go and slow the other one down. So neither of them are captured at this point. I had to slow this one down at least. You can see, I don't think that's the other one flying past. I think that's some debris, thank god, but yeah. Still, it's very picturesque out here. The sun is enormous. And yeah, it slid so far past the periapse there that getting captured means being on a collision trajectory with the planet. But that's okay. We're so far out, you can easily get in a stable orbit from that. Just burn a little bit sideways. Yeah, at that point I realized that decoupler that I put under that engine to try and save fuel by decoupling it once I'm ready to dock, I realized that actually prevented fuel flow. I had forgotten to put a fuel line to the engine, so that engine in the middle was doing nothing. It's just dead weight for the whole journey. And yeah, so that's another revision for future craft being sent out here, because yeah, I was so annoyed with myself when I realized that. I just wasted so much goddamn fuel. And just, yeah, nearly lost these to the ravages of deep space because I mean, it would have taken so much less time to get captured if they were not attached, you know? Or if they were burning, I mean. So I'm just making a plane correction here to get on the same plane as the station core. I'm letting MechJib do it, I think, because, you know, it's just... That's what the robot's good for, getting my ship on an exactly 0 degree inclination. It can do that. I'm happy to let it do that. That's a lot of mathsy stuff that I'm not so good at. That's fine. And then just matching orbits for all of them, which is a bit of a waste because, yeah, I mean this one turned out okay, but I think for the other one I had to sort of, yeah, here you see I was just having to widen the orbit and then pull it back in again. It's a bit of a waste, but this had plenty of fuel left. I mean, you can see there the 2 tanks for those nuclear engines are very full, which is actually extremely inefficient because they're just going to get jettisoned. And yeah, there's going to be some heavy revisions on this stage, I think, on all the stages, because I'm ending up with too much fuel and not enough thrust at this point, and you know, just about enough fuel and not enough thrust on the transfer stage. So yeah, but I think next up I'm probably going to send out some probes and a launcher. I really want to set up like a sort of satellite system. I don't quite know why. Like, I've never used the Keythane mod, but I'm kind of thinking that maybe that would be a good actual reason to come out here, but I don't know. I'm not sure how much all that mining equipment weighs. Maybe it's a bit too heavy to send out to Moho, but I'm sure I can figure out a way. But I don't know, I try to keep it fairly vanilla and not have too many mods to manage. But yeah, I'm probably going to send out some probes and some rovers so I can pick a good landing site. Maybe scout out some of the anomalous craters on Moho. And yeah, I'm docking manually here. They're just tiny fuel tanks with RCS on the side. I can manage that, just. I really don't enjoy docking. But yeah, when it's something this small, it's not too bad. And the station core just keeps rotating. Everything I build rotates for some unknown reason. Maybe it's something to do with MechJeb conflicting with the SAS, I don't know. But you can see it's just rotating around while I'm trying to dock onto it. Stay still. But yeah, this is no docking camera, no docking hood, just point and shoot. And the final one goes on. And yeah, that's the fuel. It's just these little tanks, but that should do for any lightweight landers and such that I send out there. And so, I hope to see you in part 3. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.